Ethan, we did it. I told you we was going to do it, and we did it exactly this past Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, Super Bowl 55.
Hashtag Gunner was right.
Hashtag I'm always right. Hashtag Gunner can't lose Miller, the people's captain playoff future prediction, the Super Bowl prediction. We nailed them all. We took home that money. We took home that money from the futures bet. I did. We took home that money from the actual money line bet, which I said, hey, the pick of the week last week would be don't bet against Tom Brady. Take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers money line plus 145, put a G on it, make that extra 1,045. Man, what we do. That's what we did. 12-point logistics did that for the house account. I did that for the personal account. Hit that futures bet. We won every way you could possibly win. And I told you people, go with the Buccaneers. So now I'm 1-0. 1-0 predicting Super Bowls. I just told Ethan, I am the Tom Brady of picking Super Bowls. Tom Brady has appeared in 10 Super Bowls. He has won 7, been the MVP of 6. Gunner Miller has appeared in 1 Super Bowl, making 1 prediction and winning. Not the spread, but the actual money line, which makes me an MVP. An MVP. So we've got these winnings. We've got these earnings. We're riding this flame. We're coming into the weekend, and we're going to talk about what we might bet this weekend. I thought you said, Gunner, you weren't going to bet every weekend. It's true. It's true. So what I'm going to do, I'm not betting NHL. I'm not betting NBA. I like some college basketball games. I'm going to stick with teams that are really dominating the spread. Teams like Drake, for example. March Madness is coming up, so we will partake in that. We'll probably do a futures bet on a couple teams to win. I mean, whoever a number 1 seed is probably going to win. Most likely Gonzaga. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see where we actually go with that. I'll make a prediction on that. We'll see. But until then, I love the UFC. I'm pretty damn good at picking the UFC. When it comes to DraftKings and picking actually 6 fights when you have a certain salary cap, I'm pretty much always going 4-2, 5-1. The only reason I'm going 4-2 or 5-1 is because you're having to pick some dogs in that. And sometimes I just get those dogs wrong. But when it comes to picking like sure things, I'm usually on it. I was wrong about the Conor fight. I believe a lot of people were wrong about the Conor fight. If you look at that fight, Conor won the first round. He just, that calf kick's a hell of a kick. And then he got finished. Things happen in fighting. That's the cool thing about fighting. So this weekend, UFC 259, I believe. You can title that on the YouTube video. UFC 259. You got Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns. Now this is exciting. Why is this exciting? This is exciting because these guys were teammates down in Florida. They have been teammates for, I believe, 8 years. Gilbert Burns was fighting at 155. Kamaru was fighting at 170. They both had their own respectable runs. Gilbert Burns moved up to 170. Now they're both in the same weight class. And then all of a sudden, Kamaru becomes champion, running through people. Well, Gilbert Burns is just running through people as well. The fight to make is Gilbert Burns versus Kamaru. Well, they made it. They made the fight. Kamaru Usman went to Denver now to train with Trevor Whitman, Justin Gaethje, Alsar Overeem, those guys up there. And Kamaru stayed in Florida training with his team that he's been training with the entire time, the same team that knows Kamaru Usman very, 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 very well. These guys have sparred for over 200 rounds. These guys have both won rounds. These guys have both beat each other up. And they fight this weekend for the championship. Gilbert Burns, when I got him, Gilbert Burns was plus 235. Okay? Plus 235. That's a heavy underdog. But that's too much money. That's too many points. The odds are too good in his favor. A fight is pretty much 50-50 unless the skill set is just absolutely tremendously different, better, when there's a big difference. Even the Conor Dustin fight, I mean, you look at it being plus 200, you probably could, your best value there is Dustin. I messed up on that. I'm a Conor fan. That's my problem. I'm not a fan of Gilbert Burns. I'm not a fan of Kamaru Usman. I don't care who wins. But when you're looking at the matchup, and as an athlete and a competitor, and you're seeing that These guys have trained with each other their entire UFC career. What's the best move here? What's the best value for your bet? I think Gilbert Burns beats Kamaru Usman. I just got that feeling. He's the underdog, but he's not really an underdog. I mean, they're both good. They're both really good. And for the money, I think it's more of a pick 'em. I think it should be more of like a minus 125 to plus 120, something like that. But when you're getting an extra 100 points with Gilbert Burns, that's good money. Those guys know who's going to win. When you go up against someone every day, you know who's going to win. I mean, you can hope that you get lucky one day and pick up a win or use one of his tendencies and figure out a way to win or whatever it might be. But when you go up against someone every single day, whether it's playing checkers, whether it's playing chess, whether it's arm wrestling, whether it's a sales competition, whether it's a sprint, whether it's a marathon, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, fighting, whatever it might be, you know who's better. You know who's going to win. You know who's won the most times. And from the leaked sparring footage I've seen, I think that guy's Gilbert Burns. But we'll see. So my pick for that fight is to go with Gilbert Burns for UFC 258. And I also picked a 7-fight pick and a 9-fight pick. So I put 120. How would I do? No, I put 120 on a 3-fight to win 120. I put 25 on a 7-fight to win 435. And I put 20 on a 9-fight to win 2,000, I believe. And it was made up of all favorites with then Gilbert Burns at the end. So we'll see. Some good fights this weekend, but we'll ride that hot streak, taking the earnings from the Super Bowl, putting it into some bets for UFC. It's also Valentine's Day this weekend, Ethan. Valentine's Day is Sunday. You got a Valentine?
Actually, yeah, possibly.
What's your plan for Valentine's Day? You have a plan?
Work.
Yeah, work.
Plans for celebrating Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Will not be on Valentine's Day.
Would that be tomorrow?
I'm trying to think. We're going back and forth between before and or after.
Yeah.
So
okay,
we'll have to figure it out.
So
I'll fill you in.
Okay.
I'll fill you in.
So I believe Tia and we've got the little man this weekend, which I'm fired up about that. But
oh yeah.
It's third weekend in a row. I love having him. Anyway, so I think we're going to do Valentine's tomorrow as far as like dinner and stuff. And maybe try to get out of town for a day or two. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Pretty sure she's got Saturday off. So we might just make a impromptu last minute trip somewhere. Maybe like an Atlanta or like a
I was about to
Nashville.
say, you guys did just take like a weekend vacation to Orlando. So
yes, I mean we're like dude. I mean Orlando's 8-9 hours.
Exactly.
Atlanta's nothing.
No.
Nashville's nothing.
No.
Greenville's nothing. And these are all places we've been here recently.
Yeah.
So yeah, those trips are nothing. That'd be fun though. And then 'cause she's got to work Sunday, so we can't actually do the Valentine's Day. I think I might try to surprise her with maybe something on Sunday. We'll see how that goes. She doesn't listen to this, so she won't know. She actually listened to the first one on the way home from my parents last night in a while. She listened to the Super Bowl show. She's like, "Oh, that sounds really good. Did the sound change or anything?" I was like, "No, it's just called effort and putting in the consistent dedication, work ethic, and making this podcast what it is today. Ethan behind the scenes. That's what we do." So I'm sure this show will get better. I mean, dude, so I was looking at a podcast I like, the VIP Sports Podcast I was telling you about.
Yeah.
Steve Stevens, that guy. I was looking at his thing on iTunes. 49 4-star review podcast. Dude, we're like a 73 rated 5-star podcast.
Yeah.
That put some things into perspective there. We're not in a terrible situation.
No.
I mean, it could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
If we could get to 100 5-star reviews,
That's all we need.
I think we're in a good spot.
That's just another medal to hang up on the old Gunner Never Lose Miller's
and then
wall.
and then from there we get to 250,
Ooh.
and then 500, and then 1,000. That's where we need to get to. But anyways, your portion's up.
Yeah.
Where's the media for the week? You got anything cool?
A lot of stuff happened today.
Yeah, did it?
Gina Carano. So
I'm ready.
I knew you'd be fired up because
know.
you like Gina Carano. Yep. I like Gina Carano.
Yep.
She's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, no, she just now here's my thing. Did you see did you see how it all happened?
I mean, you can
Like,
talk.
do you know the details?
I think I know.
Okay.
I think I'm caught up.
So, to catch everyone else up, Gina Carano plays Cara Dune in The Mandalorian.
The godmother of women's mixed martial arts.
Oh yeah, she is. If there has ever been a woman to look up to in the current modern era of television, she's definitely it.
So, just perspective. Everyone knows Ronda Rousey. She was before Ronda Rousey. She was on her way out as Ronda was on her way in. Okay, continue.
But no. So Gina Carano, she gets huge in the mainstream off of Mandalorian.
Correct.
Because it's a huge show.
Yep.
And she's a pretty decent sized character in it.
Mm-hmm.
She's not. I wouldn't even say she's like necessarily the biggest secondary character, but she's consistent.
Yep.
And people care about her story. The issue is Gina Carano herself on Twitter is not the and I hope you wouldn't expect it, the by the book Hollywood type. She's a Texan. She's a conservative,
very strong conservative.
And she's very strong-willed, which is not surprising. Again, none of this should surprise anybody.
Yeah, she's a caged fighter.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like, I think there's just a different mindset. I've been looking into a lot here recently, and this might be a little bit of a tangent, but I've been thinking about like testosterone and like the quote unquote soy boys of the Gen Z and millennial generation versus guys like you, guys like Chris. Like walking into that conversation today kind of like jolted my mind a little bit more, just because. I mean, I just can't. There's something different about people that fight for a living or that weightlift, that do hard labor versus the people that sit behind a desk like me. And there's just a different mindset. Thankfully, I feel like I've got the same mindset as somebody like you, somebody that, isn't a fucking soy boy. But I've got so many friends nowadays that I just look at them, I'm like, are you sure you're okay? You're a fucking twig? And you literally, like, some of my friends are, like, decently active, but they're still twigs.
Yeah.
They don't have any muscle mass. And all. Anyway, that's all beside the point. We can talk about that later.
Yeah, that's a whole podcast.
Maybe that's the fitness portion of this podcast.
Yeah.
But anyway, Gina Carano is very conservative, very strong-willed, all this and that. So she starts posting on Twitter, on Instagram, whatever she thinks. A little bit of anti-vax stuff, which, again, I don't necessarily agree with her on everything. Obviously, we've talked about it. I'm skeptical about vaccines, but for the most part, vaccines do what's on the tin. It's about whatever happens afterwards.
Yeah.
And so she does a little bit of anti-vax. She's anti-mask as well. She posted like pictures of a guy wearing 4 masks and said, "Meanwhile in California."
Right.
Stuff like that. A lot of it seems just like trolling at this point. She's just having a laugh.
Yeah.
But she posted today, and I'm not even entirely sure what I can say on YouTube. But
you can say whatever you want to.
Yeah, it's whatever. She posts a picture of a woman in 1940s Germany who seems to be being attacked by random people, including a child. And the caption in the picture, not her own caption, says something along the lines of Jewish people in Germany, before they were murdered by their own government, were attacked and the government allowed attacks on Jewish people to just happen without repercussion because it's a whole campaign of dehumanizing people.
Yes.
And she compared that to the bullying that conservatives get
Yes.
in the mainstream. And again, back to it, I don't necessarily agree 100%. Optically, that was probably a really bad way of saying what you were trying to say. But her getting canceled for having views and her getting fired from The Mandalorian and LucasArts basically saying Gina Carano no longer works with or will ever work with Lucasfilm and her views are disgusting kind of just solidifies what she was saying. So, yeah, we're at this point. And it has been a buildup. It's not just been all of a sudden, and evidently from people at LucasArts that actually kind of agree with her, have anonymously said, like, LucasArts was basically just looking for a reason, and this was the tipping point.
Yeah, so I brought this up at work today. Everyone's coming after the conservative viewpoint, right? You can say literally anything you want to. Absolutely anything you want to with a liberal view. It doesn't matter if you're talking about killing someone, about
burning this shit down,
burning things down, calling someone a name, making a racist comment, stereotyping people. It literally does not matter what you do if it's a liberal-based opinion backing other liberals. However, if you make any opinion that is of the right or conservative view, you are on the chopping block to be canceled, called names, stereotyped, I guess, in a way. And your expressions and your freedom of expression is all shut down. Now, is it smart to compare the current political climate to Nazi Germany, considering people were literally getting killed in Nazi Germany? Well, no. But I think we all got her point. Like, any rational human that sees what she's saying is like, oh, yeah, I kind of see what she's saying.
Yeah. Anybody that agrees with her.
Yeah, anybody that's like, yeah, I can see what she's going with that. And if you don't agree with her, it's not like she's a super mean, terrible person that should be canceled and her career should be ruined over a tweet or an Instagram picture.
I can tell you this. Because of this, she's only going to get bigger. Like, this isn't going to, like, this canceling Gina Carano, somebody of that level at this point, is not going to cause her to lose money. She's only going to get more money and she's going to get more famous.
Yeah.
That's how this works now. Like, it's the what do they call it? It's some it's some kind of effect. It's based on it's not Barbara Walters. It's the Streisand effect.
Yeah.
Just like the more you try and hate on something, the more famous it gets, for good or bad. And it goes back to like no, all press is good press.
Yeah.
Like, the people that care about Gina Carano are going to care about Gina Carano.
Right. And
the people that didn't know about her but agree with her are just going to agree with her more now that they know about her.
Well, here's the bad part. Look up, and I don't know if you can look it up real quick. Who's the co-star in The Mandalorian that's also had Jewish comments, but it was in 2010. And
I don't know about that one.
Look it up. 2010, he made comments that the current climate of immigration, the children in cages,
okay, so
at the border.
I do know about this. Pedro Pascal,
yes,
The Mandalorian,
yes,
posted a picture. It would have been probably before 2020, so a couple years ago.
Yep.
Posted a picture with a picture of children in cages.
Yep.
Saying that it was from 2018.
Yep.
And then children in cages from 1940s Germany.
Yes.
Again, Jewish kids, obviously heinous, shitty situation. But yeah, he made the same exact correlation.
Yes.
Now, again, should you be able to compare the two? I think freedom of speech guy, sure. That it is important to point things out when they're similar than to point them out when they're different to me.
Mm-hmm.
If you see something, say something. Like,
yeah.
And hey, kids in cages, I don't think anybody's really arguing for that. Like that's pretty low on the totem pole of things I care to keep, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, point it out. It's fine. Now, whether or not that picture was actually from 2018 is a different story.
Right.
Because we've talked about it before. Those pictures of kids in cages and all that stuff.
It was Obama.
It was during Obama's era. And whether or not it doesn't matter. It's all wrong. Shouldn't be okay with it, whether it was Obama or it was Trump.
Yeah.
But if Pedro Pascal is going to make that same comment 3-4 years ago, before The Mandalorian,
yes,
that's also fair. You know what? If Disney's taking a step back and being like, we're not going to go back into somebody's history and criticize them for stuff that they've posted before, but they now represent our brand and now they're our front face.
Yep. That's
when we care. You know what? If somebody from Disney comes out and says that, I can understand that.
That's cool.
However,
if they don't.
No. However, there is somebody else that works for Disney in a different property that I cannot get behind.
Is that the Guardians of the Galaxy one?
No. Amber Heard.
What's that?
Amber Heard is Johnny Depp's ex-wife.
Okay.
I think I've brought it up a few times. But a little bit of a story. Johnny Depp is accused by Amber Heard, his ex-wife, I think current wife at the time, of being abusive, of being a drunk, throwing things, hitting her, all this and that. He takes the Sun, I think, the Sun Tribune or the Sun, takes the story and runs with it. Like, oh my gosh, Johnny Depp is this horrible human being. He's a monster. He's a drunk. He beats Amber Heard. Johnny Depp quietly says that is untrue and takes them to court. In court, come to find out, it was Amber Heard actually being the abusive one. Now, in all fairness, Johnny Depp, he has an alcohol problem. He has admitted that. And he has said that, he gets, binges out on alcohol and gets a little drunk. That's fine. But all of the evidence that has been put forward for him being abusive has become irrelevant because it has been shown that any bruises she has been makeup done by friends. And there are recordings of her verbally abusing him and then him saying, but you've done all this. And she said, she doesn't deny it. She's just like, yeah, I hit you. Like all of this and that. And now Amber Heard is of Aquaman fame. She's the redhead in Aquaman. Okay. But Disney has been in talks of her coming to Star Wars, doing Pirates of the Caribbean after firing Johnny Depp and all this and that. And people were just like, you're going to fire Gina Carano, a strong character, or a strong female playing a character that people love, and not getting rid of this abuser when #MeToo has been all the rage lately, and Johnny Depp is a #MeToo victim of abuse. Like, it's the double standard. Again, going back to what you said, you can do and say whatever you want. If you're liberal, if you're conservative, you got to dot your I's and cross your T's and dot your I's, because you've only got so much length of that rope before they just use it to hang you.
And what's crazy is if you're like, everyone wants to promote equality, feminism, all this stuff, right? Give them equal rights. Give them all this stuff. Put women in the spotlight. That's all fair and good, unless that woman is conservative. Then that woman doesn't matter. That woman's wrong. That woman's bad. Black people need a voice. All ethnic people need a voice. You put them in the spotlight when they do something good. They're a king when they do something good. Young king, right?
Yeah.
Unless that black person or that ethnic person is a conservative. Then they're an Uncle Tom.
Yeah. And that's not to say like those people that are speaking out and using their platform, more power to them.
Yeah.
Like some of them are saying things that are just generally good that we can all agree with.
Yeah.
And then there are, those that maybe we need to have a little bit longer of a talk. But hey, speak your mind.
Yeah.
Speak from the heart. Whatever's really ailing you that you need to speak out about it publicly.
Yep.
Obviously, it matters to you, so you should have your voice heard.
At what point does an opinion matter? At what point does an opinion truly matter? Like I promise you right now, me and Ethan have a different opinion of these dumb, stupid movies he tried to make me watch this weekend. All right? And guess what? I'm going to not like Ethan the same or like Ethan the same regardless of how these movies turned out in my view.
Exactly.
Like, and why can't you, if someone makes a stupid comment about 1944 and 2020 being like Nazi Germany and US, it's kind of a stupid comment. It's kind of funny, but it's kind of stupid. Why can't you just laugh? Why do you have to cancel them?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? This person raises her, like, supports her family with this job, right?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Supports her family with this job. Probably about to get a spinoff. She's about to get her own spinoff.
She was like, here's the thing. That's what, like, Dave Filoni and what's the guy that did Iron Man? Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
They were both talking about like, yeah, we want to do a lot of spinoffs with the characters that we've made because we feel like they can all carry their own shows.
Yeah.
And they were right.
Yes.
And then you get Ahsoka, you get Boba Fett. Mandalorian's going to have to continue because we want to know what happens to the Mandalorian.
Yep.
Whether or not Grogu's there, maybe people will tune out a little bit more. But all of these characters are getting their own stories. Even the guy from Rogue One, who, again, to be fair, very interesting character. I did want to know more, but even he got a character, he's getting a sideshow.
Yeah.
And Gina Carano's Cara Dune couldn't get a sideshow.
Yeah.
Because all of this, and that's where they get you in those golden handcuffs is what they're called. Hey, we can give you a lot of money. You'll have your own show. You just got to shut up. Don't talk about what you think.
Yep. Don't
talk about what you believe.
Yeah.
But you'll get a lot of money.
Yep.
And hey, some people take it, some people don't. There is evidently a lot of people in Hollywood that are a lot more conservative than you think that just don't say anything because they don't want that heat. Yep. And you know what? Although I would say it's a little bit of a coward's way out, I still have to respect them for it because you got to protect your own sometimes.
Well, that's also the problem.
Yes.
That they don't speak their mind because they're afraid they're going to get canceled. I mean, why don't the conservatives just cancel all these liberals? Why can't you just figure out a way to cancel those people? But you know what? Conservatives don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't sit around they don't sit around and waste their whole day bashing one person and screaming from the mountaintops that they need to be removed from whatever site for having their own opinion. You know why? Because the conservatives want their own opinion.
Yeah.
Like that's why they don't bitch and complain about other people's opinions. They just tell them it's wrong.
Yeah. And this is where we're getting to as a culture. At least in America. Something else to note, we'll talk about it a little bit later about France and what they've said.
Okay.
About current political climates in America. But it's one of those things where, and I've had a conversation here recently where I just flat out said, I think you're just wrong about what you're saying, but you're attacking me like I'm evil for having slightly conservative views. I wasn't even arguing for conservative views. I was actually more leaning libertarian with what I was talking about. And they were still attacking me like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're X, Y, and Z. All three of those things, current people are being called left and right. I was like, do you not realize that you're calling me some of the most heinous things that you can? Even though you know me and you know I'm not any of those things. You've known me for 6-7 years now. Have I ever shown you that I'm X, Y, and Z? No. Then why are you calling me that? You're calling me that because it's a cop-out and because you think you have power over me by saying that. If you keep just saying, if you think if you just keep saying it, it'll make it true, but it's not. I know what I believe. I know what I'm about. You know me. You know what I'm about, but you can't change that.
Right.
So don't act like you know what I'm about if you're gonna say it's that.
Good
But
rant.
but it's one of those things. Again, like I said, the right thinks the left is confused. The left thinks the right is
Wrong.
evil. It's not just wrong; it's evil, and that's the problem. We're not attacking each other on the same moral standing. The left thinks they're up here. They can't see me, but up here above your head, where the conservatives are just fighting at the middle ground, not too low. They're fighting at an even middle ground where the left thinks that they're above them, and it's a problem because we're working through this and we're trying to have conversations. I don't think I would, if I were to go on Twitter and try to talk to somebody, I'm sure some people will try and talk, but the majority of them are just going to yell me down. They're just going to tweet at me, and it goes back to that guy.
Wrestling.
Well, not wrestling. Well, Yes, that. I was talking about my personal one.
Oh, yeah.
The guy that when the election was called, he was like, yeah, good. Something about Trump and losing. And I was just like, well, maybe we should count all the votes. That's what they said that they were going to do. This was on election, like the day after election.
Right.
And I was like, hey, y'all said to keep counting the votes, so you never know how it goes. They told me to F off. And I was like, all right. Because they just think that I'm dead wrong. There's no room for me to be right because they're morally correct, morally just in what they're saying.
Yeah.
And there's no way of, unless we all take a breath and step back a little bit and be like, okay, my fellow human being right next to me is not aiming to kill somebody else. They're just trying to live their best life. That's what something that kind of made me more libertarian within the last 6 months is just like, I'm just trying to live my best life. My friends are just trying to live their best life. They don't want anybody else to suffer. They just have different ways of thinking about it.
Yeah.
But they also, some of those friends think that I'm trying to make somebody else's life worse by living my best life.
Right.
Which is not true.
Yeah.
I'm just a guy.
Yeah.
The only other the only people I can really affect are those directly around me. And the one I can mostly affect is me. And I'm just not trying to make my life worse. I'm just trying to make it better at this point. But they think that I'm some evil guy. I'm a racist.
Everyone's so worried about other people.
Yeah.
That's the big problem. Well, I guess you could say this. Conservatives care about themselves, and liberals care about what you think of everyone else. I guess that's kind of a good way to put it. I don't know. It's confusing to me. It's frustrating just having to listen to dumb people talk on both sides.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what?
Dumb.
Guess what? I'm dumb.
Here's the thing. I think what's frustrating the most is that everybody is just letting these certain people talk, and they're like Alex Jones, for an example. Alex Jones starts talking, and you may be like, oh yeah, I agree with that. 9/11 was an inside job. Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. I can agree with that. Everything's a little muddy in those waters.
Yeah.
And then he talks a little bit more. And you're like, oh yeah, I still agree with that. Maybe we shouldn't have been in Iraq. Maybe we shouldn't be in Iran. I can agree with all this. Then you put him on a pedestal. He starts talking. More people hear him. You're like, well, maybe I don't necessarily agree with all of what he's saying now. Maybe the water isn't turning the freaking frogs gay,
Yeah.
But you're like, he still said a lot of stuff that I agree with. Get him a bigger stage.
Yeah.
Then he's on national television. Then he's on he's on InfoWars. He's talking to everybody.
Yeah.
And then he says the crazy shit. And you're just like, well, but he's still on my side. He's conservative. He's fighting for what I believe in. But he's not saying what you still believe, but you're still backing him because he's conservative. And the left is doing it by the thousands at this point. Twitter alone is how you know that everything's fucked.
Yeah.
It's because people don't have to interact that much on Twitter. Twitter is where you can scream into the void and hope that it screams back.
Mm-hmm.
You get 240 characters to say whatever you're thinking right at the moment. And then other people either get to use 240 characters of their own to try and make a response to whatever the hell you just said.
Or just retweet it.
Or just retweet it. And they retweet it, and it's just a blatant, like, retweeting doesn't cut out all of the stuff that you may not agree with. It's just a blatant yes.
Yep.
It's just a yes or a no. There's no nuance.
Yep.
And that's the problem. There's not enough
maybe you're
nuance.
retweeting because you don't agree.
Exactly. There's a lot of people that I follow that will retweet AOC or Ilhan Omar, and they'll be like, it's a quote tweet, but they're like, I don't believe in this. This is kind of stupid. I don't know what you're saying. You're acting a little crazy. But that's still a retweet in the algorithm, so it just gets bumped up more.
Yep.
And Twitter is a cesspool, and I could talk all day about how if everyone just deleted Twitter for a month, nobody would go back.
Yeah, your boy was trending there for a day.
And
poor old me.
Poor old you. That was a long time ago, it feels like.
Isn't that crazy?
2 years ago?
Literally trending.
Jeez. Who is Gunner Miller?
Dude.
Wasn't that the hashtag, who is Gunner Miller?
Yeah. I mean, dude, yeah. Now imagine that on a political spectrum. I mean, I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine running for if I ran for president, I wouldn't win because I said Marco Stunt was not a real wrestler.
What if that's what it comes down to? Like whatever anti-you party that's out there is just like, okay, what can we get on this Gunner Miller guy? He's handsome. He's got a good voice. He's got a great beard. What can we get this Gunner Miller guy on? Marco Stunt.
Yep.
We just bring him out. We just wheel out Marco Stunt in a wheelchair.
He hates little white people.
Little white people. That's who we're fighting for.
He's against the American whites. Oh, man.
Speaking of...
Yeah, go ahead.
Marco Stunt. I'm going to say it. You don't have to say it. Just we can just cut to... hold on. We're just gonna cut to... Well, maybe not. This is Ethan's corner now. Okay. Gunner Miller does not endorse this part of the podcast.
Okay.
Marco Stunt is exactly the low T individual I was talking about earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, to be fair, I haven't seen Marco Stunt since the time we were talking about him because you talked about him.
Yeah.
But Marco Stunt back then, definitely one of those guys.
I'd say since then, he's probably grown more into a woman more so than into a man.
Whoa. Yeah. You're going to go trending again. God damn it. And now I'm really tied to this thing.
Listen, Ethan. So wrestling's almost done for your boy. Okay. Slowly working my way out of it.
Have you talked to people about that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. I didn't want this to be a bombshell.
Yeah, no. I am wrapping everything up.
Good.
So here, we can talk about this real quick. So got into wrestling when I was 24, I believe. I think. So 2014.
Okay.
All right. Hit the ground running hard. Was doing it every weekend. Blah, blah. Gaining a lot of steam. PWI wrestler to watch. Doing everything right. Saying all the right things to the wrong people, even though I was playing the ball game, right? I was playing the political ball game in the very liberal space that is professional wrestling, and your boy is a very strong conservative. Didn't even know I was conservative until I got into wrestling. So anyways, I always said when I turned 30, if I'm not signed to a WWE contract, I'm going to back out. Listen, man, I had a tryout. I had a blast. I had the opportunity. Didn't work out. I've wrestled guys that right now are on Monday Night Raw in very prime time positions, and I wrestled very competitively against those guys and had fantastic matches. I'm okay. I have a great job that is only going to get better. I have positioned myself into a spot to where it's time to go all in on the old dream or go all in on the career. And honestly, if I was to sign a WWE contract, I would have to downgrade my current situation to pursue that down in Florida. Not willing to do that. So I'm wrapping everything up this year. This will be my last year in the ring. I think we've got a pretty good story lined up for it. I'm excited about it, but you will not see me in the ring in 2022. So I'm going to wrap everything up. So I'm excited to get in really good shape to go my little swan song out in wrestling. And we'll get to document it through this. You know what I've always wanted to do? And and it'll be a mixture of like us and Dylan doing
Yeah.
it. So what got me into working out was Rocky IV.
Okay.
Okay. And specifically the training montage of Rocky IV, which then became all the training montages of all the Rockies, which is like the main parts of the Rocky movies. I want to recreate my own training montage for my last match, whenever that might be towards the end of the year. Like through footage that we film and Dylan editing it together to Rocky music.
Oh my gosh.
And that's what I want my last hoorah to be. Like I want to go out with what got me in. And I think that at that point I will be satisfied and be able to relax a little bit. And then I'm just going to kind of become a smaller person for the first time in my life. It's going to be fun. I'm just going to get lean, get healthy. And my focus is going towards nootropics and longevity. That's my plan for 2022. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be real fun. You heard of modafinil?
No. I like that sound. Sorry, I was looking up the Hearts on Fire montage from Rocky IV. I don't think I've ever actually seen the Rocky movies. So hey, listen.
No. There's a complete difference in what you're about to say
and
what I'm going to say.
No. Listen.
No. Listen.
Rocky was not in my wheelhouse growing up.
Okay.
It was not like the people that were raising me did not watch Rocky.
Okay, soy boy.
However,
there's the difference right
there. I do recognize that I need to watch Rocky at some point.
Yeah.
Because it's Rocky. It's the hallmark, one of the hallmarks of American cinema.
Yeah.
Same thing. Haven't ever really watched The Godfather. So
now I've tried The Godfather a couple times, and
did you watch it with
Marcus?
With Marcus?
Yeah. So I love old movies because there's so much story to them.
Of course.
But they're slow.
Yes.
So
like
it's hard for me to watch. Yeah.
Jeez.
The Exorcist. There might be a grand total of 3.5 minutes of action.
But that's the point.
And that's the point. Yeah. That's what's so good. Texas Chainsaw Massacre back in the day. Yeah. Jason, Freddy, all these movies. Very little.
No. Freddy, Jason, and Texas Chainsaw, very different from The Exorcist.
I understand that. But
Silence of the Lambs.
American Werewolf. Like
exactly.
You don't even see the werewolf.
Until the very end.
Yeah. So that type of stuff, you build towards the monster anyways, or build towards the peak, main, the cinematic, the main thing. You're
not blowing your load all at once.
Yeah. All right. So The Godfather is hard for me to watch because Tia doesn't want to watch it, and Marcus is 5. Now, I could sit down and watch it, but I'm having to do it, and I've had to do it in like little. I've watched the movie, but I have not watched the movie completely from start to finish, which frustrates me. Yeah. Okay. Now, your stupid movies. Shaun of the Dead. If you listen to the last episode, Ethan told me to watch Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and
World's End.
Yes. First of all, I bookmarked every single one of these in every single different one of my streaming platforms, and I have unbookmarked them. I tried to watch Shaun of the Dead 2 times. Okay. The first time, literally, I texted Ethan as soon as I turned it on because he told me to.
Yeah. I wanted to know play by play what you thought.
Yeah. So I turned it on, and then I put my phone off to the side, and I said, you know what? Not going to look at my phone. Going to give this movie my full attention.
Fair enough.
All right. I'm going to watch it as a critic. Okay.
Oof.
I was watching it to, like, you said there was little things that I wouldn't notice that would make sense if you watched it a second time. I was looking for those things on the first time. Okay. I was like,
well, there you go. Yeah, there's your problem.
Well, see, I was watching the little convenience store scene. I was looking at everything in the convenience store. Okay. So I was really dissecting this movie. First of all, I do not like the main actor. I don't know what it is about him. I cannot stand him.
And we knew that going in.
Yes.
Like that was already known.
And that's the problem. That is the sole problem. I like the backup actor, one of the
The fat guy?
Yes.
Yes.
He's in a movie with Vince Vaughn.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Where he's
I
like
do.
a businessman, goes, okay. I like that guy, but the rest of it, I just couldn't get behind. And then like, I understand the philosophy and the psychology of the zombie, like how it starts and how it's a complete difference compared to like The Walking Dead, as far as like how you kill these things and people's critical thinking of how they should kill them and fill it out, and like the news stations and how they're reporting on different things of like this or like what's the Brad Pitt one, World War Z, like those type movies where it's like end of the world, very serious news stations, like goes out, all that type of stuff. Then you got Shaun of the Dead, and I know it's kind of like a comedy version of it.
It's a satire comedy, yeah.
Okay, but at the same time, like I just could not when they're throwing the album at the zombies, and like the zombies never move, they just keep throwing shit at them. I don't know.
So I think what it is you don't like slow zombies.
It's not that I don't like slow zombies. I don't like the main actor. I don't like his voice. I don't like his look. I don't like his facial hair. I do like he's a person, doesn't matter how much we have in common. I hate that person. I do not like him. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't. The Rock could be in that same movie and I could love it.
Of course.
Or maybe any other actor could be in that movie and I love it.
I can see that.
But that guy ruins it for me. And I don't know why I dislike him on screen so much. But like I'm the type of guy like Rocky. Rocky got me into working out. Guys would like, maybe this is it, Soy Boy. Guys would like,
it's all coming full circle.
Like masculine action stars. I like those type movies. Even like Denzel is a very masculine character. Tom Cruise, I mean, action star. Like I like those type. Liam Neeson, action star. He's not intimidating looking, but he plays that part. This guy doesn't look like he could ever kill a zombie.
No.
Doesn't look like he's gonna ever have a girlfriend.
No.
Doesn't look like nothing.
No.
He looks like, if I looked like him if I looked in the mirror and that's what I saw, I am a failure.
But
Except
Gunner,
he's making millions of dollars in Hollywood.
But no. Gunner. In Shaun of the Dead, that's the point.
I know, but I can't get behind it. And like, I like comedy movies, but he's not funny to me. Like nothing he was doing was funny. You put Will Ferrell in that movie, I probably laugh my ass off. You put Kevin Hart in that movie, I laugh my ass off. You put The Rock in that movie.
I'm trying to think of who else you could put in there that would be equally as funny, but also keep the same motive.
Deadpool.
Ryan Reynolds.
In that movie. Fantastic. Matthew McConaughey in that movie. I would laugh. Anybody in that spot, I'm laughing.
But see, that's the thing. You're thinking of all these.
Steve-O in that movie.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah, there you go.
That's the equivalent. Steve-O in that movie, I'm watching it. Pauly Shore in that movie, I'm watching it.
What's the other guy? That's not Steve-O, it's the other guy.
Sean William Scott.
Yes.
Sean William Scott in that movie, he's the American version of that guy. I'm watching it, all right? It's just that guy doesn't do it for me. So I'm sorry I didn't get to watch your shows. Now, however, I'm going to flip this around and you're doing homework. You know what your homework is?
Rocky,
2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky 5, and Rocky Balboa. You can skip Rocky 5 if you want to. Rocky 5 sucked. But Rocky, okay, everyone goes, what's your favorite Rocky? Rocky. It's all right. Okay.
I already know just by like all the tangential knowledge. That's the other thing. Like I've grown up with Rocky being pop culture.
Yeah.
So it's like if somebody tried to watch Empire Strikes Back without knowing Darth Vader's Luke's father.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, he's Luke's father. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
That's it's an interesting point. My little sister has not watched the Star Wars movies. My stepdad is doing his best to be like, let's try and get her to like 10 where she understands with that like surprise and we'll be good.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, like with Rocky being in the pop culture that I've always grown up with. There's never been a time where there isn't Rocky.
Yeah.
I already know Rocky 4 is my favorite.
It might be. It might be. Okay, listen to me. I'm a Rocky buff, okay? Rocky is good. It is good. Rocky 2 is my least favorite. Rocky 3, pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good. Rocky 4 is fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah. That's how I see it.
However, once you like every single one of those movies, and if you can watch Rocky 5 and get through it, yeah, it's cool. It could lead to the sixth movie. But a bunch of people didn't like Rocky Balboa, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's older.
Is that the fifth one?
It's the sixth one.
Okay.
He's older. There's no way this is realistic. There's no way that a 50-something-year-old man could go, or a 60-year-old man can go in there and fight the champion of the world and it be competitive.
It's like Die Hard 4.
Yeah. It's just not going to work. But the way they put that story together, every main character had a role. The emotion of that movie. Once you buy into the characters, which you will, Rocky, Adrian, Polly, Mickey, Apollo, Drago.
Oh, but he dies.
Clubber Lang. Once the Duke, who is Apollo's trainer, who ends up becoming Rocky's trainer, all these guys. And then, you see Rocky's son in the early movies. And then he comes back and plays Rocky's son in Rocky Balboa as a man. Dude, Rocky Balboa. If Rocky 4 is 1A, Rocky Balboa is 1AA, with Rocky 3 being Rocky 1B.
Okay.
Like, it's a tie. Dude, it's and if you to know someone that's never seen all of them, if you marathon those in one day, dude, like, I've done it so many times. Like, there's been multiple weekends I've binged Rocky. And Tia hasn't seen it.
Now here's a question. What kind of time commitment am I looking at?
You're looking at each movie's 2 hours.
Okay.
Roughly.
Not too bad.
Maybe a little bit more.
I might be able to do it through the week.
Yeah.
Like one a day.
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh, so if you started on a Saturday, if you start tomorrow,
yeah,
you could knock out the whole. Skip 5. You don't have to watch 5.
Is there anything in 6 that I'll need to know?
From 5?
Is there something? I'll text you about it later, but
is there any, what do you mean?
Like, is there anything in 5 that happens that's important enough to know going into 6?
Yeah, so he
Don't tell me now. I'll text you about it because I'll want to be in the moment thinking about it. But
no, I can tell you now, and it's not going to ruin anything.
Okay.
So, Rocky 1, he fights Apollo.
Makes
Rocky
sense.
2, he fights Apollo.
Makes
Rocky,
what?
Rocky 3, it makes all the sense. Like, Rocky 1 and Rocky 2 are as if they happened. Imagine this: Rocky 1 and Rocky 2, the time frame is the next day.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Makes sense.
And then there's a little bit of a gap for Rocky 3.
Okay.
And then there's a little bit of a gap for Rocky 4. Then there's a long gap for Rocky 5. However, Rocky 5, he's no longer cleared to box. So now he has to become a trainer.
Oh.
And he trains this upcoming hotshot who's a cocky prick who he has to put hands on at the end of the movie in a parking lot. All right. Anyways, so there's that. Then Rocky 6 is he's retired. He's an old man and he owns a restaurant. That's the movie. But it's the best one. It is so good.
I was about to say, because I just looked it up. Everything up until 5, well, including 5, was made before I was alive. So Rocky Balboa is the only one that was made post my birth.
And you haven't seen the Creeds?
I've kind of like you did with Godfather. I've seen Creed 1.
Okay.
So it's been chopped up for me.
All right.
But again, like, it's one of those movies that I understand why I need to watch it. So.
Yeah. All right. So Rocky 1 is good.
Okay.
Rocky 2 Imagine Rocky 1 and Rocky